Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to ParaMystic Podcast. I am your host, Kristina Bloom, and I am here on my own today. This is my fourth recording, my fourth show with All Access Network Television, and I just wanted to introduce myself to you all. I wanted to let you know what I'm all about aside from interviewing people on a podcast. So I am a psychic. That's my job. That's my trade. I'm a psychic reader, a medium. I have a whole list here of stuff that I wrote down that I do, but I do past life regression. I'm a certified hypnotist. I do spirit guide readings, Akashic record readings, guided meditations. Um, I'm an author. I have 2 books out on my website and also on Amazon and a plethora of other places where you can buy books. They are Intuitive You, Personal and Psychic Development, and Wisdom for the Age of Ascension. And again, they're both available on my website, KristinaBloom.com, which you can see at the bottom of the screen here. Excuse me. I'm also a trance channel. So to be a trance channel, I have to be able to remove myself from my body and allow beings of higher light to come through. There's a whole series of steps that I take to make sure that I'm safe when doing so. So for those of you who might be concerned about that, just know that I am well protected and I have been doing this for many years. So there are certain beings that I allow to come through me to speak to other people, to give to messages. Sometimes they just come through to do a dialogue. Other times they answer questions. I am also a metaphysical teacher. I have a whole list of classes that I teach, from psychic development, how to contact your spirit guides, elementals, the Fae. Wow, so many. There's a whole list on my website. Again, if you would like to go check that out, there's a whole list of classes that I offer, and I am currently offering them by request. So if there's something that you see on my website that you would like to learn more about, just send me a message through Facebook Messenger or through my website. My email address is on there, and you can request a class to be scheduled. I'm a paranormal investigator. I have been doing that for probably 20 years or more. And I am really excited about a TV show that I recently recorded with my friend and co-host, Glenn Bottis. We were in England and we recorded 10 episodes of a TV show called Into the Void. And it's in with the number 2, the void. We are very, very excited about that. We are just finishing up post-production and ready to get it out there to the public. So when that is available, I will let you all know where. I'm a retreat facilitator. I do maybe a couple of retreats a year, and they are spiritually based retreats. So yeah, I've got one actually coming up in November in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in Laurium, Calumet area. And that one is, I'm really excited. I'm doing that one with my friend, Linda Ledbetter. And it's creating 5D existence, or becoming comfortable with the 5D energy that we are moving into, or that we have already moved into. So that is going to be a really good one. It's going to be a small retreat. We're only allowing 5 people in. So if you are interested in that, it is going to be the weekend before Thanksgiving. So we will actually be celebrating a Thanksgiving of sorts while we're there. We'll do a Thanksgiving dinner on the Saturday night, and really enjoying each other's company as we are becoming more comfortable with the higher energies that we are all moving into. I am also a public speaker, or a motivational spiritual speaker. I speak primarily on protecting your own energy. So if you are interested in having me speak for you online or in person, just feel free to go ahead and get in touch with me. You can, again, contact me through my website. And I also offer private parties and It's really, those are a lot of fun where I come into your home and I do psychic readings for people, or I do a gallery reading, and I actually do larger gallery readings as well. But the gallery reading is when I'm doing readings for the room. So if there are a small amount of people, everyone usually gets a reading. If there are a lot of people, not everyone will get a reading, but everyone will get something from the readings that come through. Um, in addition to that, I've been doing this, by the way, for 25 years full time. I've had other jobs here and there, but for the last, I'm going to say 13 years, this has been my full-time job. I am a full-time psychic. So I do a lot of events, weekend events. I'm doing paracons, health fairs, psychic fairs, all kinds of fun stuff all over the place. Sometimes I will go to a store, like this coming weekend, I have an event that I'm doing in Mercer, Wisconsin at Alchemy Copper and Crystals. And I'd be doing readings, private readings during the day. And then in the evening, I'm going to be doing a gallery reading. So if you are in the Northwoods of Wisconsin and interested, please stop on by. I am also available for phone and online readings during the week, mostly because most weekends I'm at events. But those are done just by contacting me. I don't have regular office hours because I don't have a regular schedule. It would be difficult for me to say I'm going to be available for readings between, noon and 6, because something could come up. I'm very active in my grandson's life, and sometimes he needs to come over, or I need to spend some time with him, or something else will come up. I don't have regular office hours. All appointments for readings are done by request. So you can request those on my website. There's a form on there for that. Otherwise, I am available to set up readings through Messenger, through email, all kinds of ways to get a hold of me. So I just wanted to go through all of that just so that people know, just so you all know who I am, what I do. I do the podcast. I love doing the podcast. And I have another podcast that I do with a friend a couple of times a month. And I love doing that too, but it is not all of what I am or all of what I do. So I wanted to share that information with you and allow people the opportunity to meet with me individually or in a group, or to have me come to your home. The the reason that I wanted to do this is because I have been having a lot of people who have readings with me asking, what is my purpose? It's probably the number one question that I get as a spiritual advisor. What is my purpose? So I sat down and talked with my spirit guides, and we came up with some pointers as to how you can determine what is your purpose. So I'm going to go through this. I made a list, but I'm not just going to read the list. We're going to talk about it, or I'm going to talk about it. Basically, my purpose is to help you. And really, my tagline for years has been, I empower people to empower themselves. That's really my purpose. All of these other things that I listed are ways that I can do that, the ways that I can help you to empower yourself. Those are the ways that I do it. I'm also a Reiki master, but I don't offer Reiki as a service. I prefer to focus on the spiritual, because very often the spiritual will heal the physical. And it's not that I don't believe in Reiki. I do. It's just, I just don't want to do it as a service. Mostly, I don't want to lug around a massage table to give people Reiki or whatever. But I do it upon request occasionally. But my purpose is to support you in empowering yourself. That's my purpose. And I came to that by going through all of these different avenues. And that's one of the things that I wanted to point out right away, is that you may be drawn to several different things. Those several different things may not individually be your purpose, but they could bring you to your purpose. So how to determine your purpose is, understand that you may have more than one. You may have more than one purpose throughout your lifetime. When my kids were small, my purpose was when they were, you know, not adults, my purpose was to help raise my children, to influence my children, to be a parent to my children. That was a very big purpose. Now my kids are grown. I don't have to raise them anymore. So I am focusing on what my other purpose is, and that is empowerment, to help people empower themselves. So you may have different purposes at different times in your life. It may or may not be your job or your business. Maybe your purpose is just to be a loving, kind person. You can do that in any job. It doesn't have to be a job. It doesn't have to be a career. It doesn't have to be a business. So you might be intuitive, you might be psychic, but you don't want to do readings. Awesome. Do whatever it is that you want to do as far as taking care of yourself and your family. Your purpose doesn't have to be your job. Also, your purpose doesn't have to be spiritual, right? There are people with many, many purposes, and where they can support humanity, where they can do whatever they feel that their purpose is, but it doesn't necessarily have to be being a healer or being a psychic or, you know, being a guide of any kind. Maybe their purpose is technological. You know, that's important too, because without the tech people, I wouldn't be able to come to you like this. Without people who, you know, who can build computers and networks and all of that kind of stuff, you know, that supports the rest of the world, especially now that we are all so dependent on technology, right? Maybe your purpose is, I don't know, medicine. Maybe it's research. Maybe your purpose has nothing to do with your job. Maybe you are mechanically inclined. We all need safe transportation. And if you're going to make a purpose your job and you feel like, you know, providing safe transportation for people by being able to fix vehicles and make them safe, that's an incredible purpose. Maybe your purpose is just to love animals. A lot of people I know have that particular purpose, and maybe it's because of the circles that I travel in, but a lot of people, their purpose is simply to love animals, to work with animals, to train animals. You know, there's where would we be without service dogs? You know, a lot of people need to have those service animals, and there are people whose purpose is to make sure that those animals are well trained and available. There are a lot of ways that you can have a purpose, and they don't have to be spiritual. Let's see, what else did I put down here? You will know the direction of your purpose by what lights you up. What do you get excited about? What are you so drawn to that you can't turn away from it? Or if you do turn away from it, you get pulled back to it. Pay attention to those pull, that stirring, that feeling that this is what I'm here for. What lights you up? What gets you excited? And it may not be every aspect of whatever gets you excited. I'll give you an example. I love helping people. I love helping people to empower themselves. It lights me up like nothing else. But because I also have a business connecting with people, doing it this way, that means that I have to do some things I don't like doing so that I can do the things I love to do. Anything administration, I don't like it, but I have to do it, you know? Doing my taxes every year, yeah, nobody likes doing that, but it's part of what supports what I do. And so I go ahead and I do that. You know, there are aspects of what I do that I'm not crazy about, but because it supports what I love to do, I still do it. So understanding that your purpose not everything is going to always be your favorite thing about it, you know? If your purpose is, again, to just shine love into the world, does that mean you're never going to get angry or irritated? No, you're still going to get angry and irritated. Does that mean you're never going to be annoyed? Nope, not at all. You're still going to get annoyed. You're still going to need time to yourself. You're still going to need to hold that space for yourself as well. And that, I mean, self-care is so important with everything, every aspect, but I think that's going to be a different show. Um, just because something lights you up doesn't mean that everything about it lights you up. And, just understanding that sometimes can help you go, okay, that makes sense. This is where I'm drawn to do, but I don't like this particular aspect. I once knew a woman who was drawn to share healing, but she didn't like people. Okay, but she still, on a one-to-one basis, managed to do what she felt her calling was, what she felt her purpose was. And if you have a calling, it's going to keep calling you no matter how much you ignore it, no matter how distracted you get, it will keep calling you. You're not going to miss something that's meant for you. Let's see. Yeah. Pay attention to what you're interested in and what you're curious about. Those things can often point you to what your purpose is. And I have had some people who have asked me, well, what, I know I'm a healer, but which path is my purpose? And at that point, it doesn't matter which path you take. Your purpose is to be a healer. That's really where your purpose is. It's not about, I mean, maybe not your specific purpose, but it was her purpose. Where am I supposed to go? What kind of training should I get? You can get all the training in the world, but if your purpose is to be an energy healer, it's just going to come from you anyway. I'm not saying don't get the training. It's probably a good idea to help you understand how it all works. But if you're prone to healing, if you're drawn to healing, be a healer. That's all it takes. Just love, it heals, basically. So, um, feel free to get the training, but understand that your gift, talent is innate. We're all healers at some level. Let's see. And pay attention to when your interest and your curiosity change, because that might mean that, okay, you still have the same main purpose, but coming at it from a different direction, learning new ways, new understandings, that all comes into it. That all comes into play with it. That all comes into, I am going to be the best, whatever it is that my purpose is that I can be, but I can learn different ways to express that purpose. Again, you are not obligated to turn your purpose into a business. I just want to make that very clear, because not everybody wants to. Not everybody wants to do what I do. And even a lot of people who do what I do don't want to do it the way I do it, because I spend a lot of time traveling. I spend a lot of time on the road, and I reach out to a lot of people. And not everyone wants to do that. Some people only want to stay online and do readings. Some people only want to have a local office and stay in their office and have people come to them. There's no wrong way. There is no wrong way to do your purpose, but you are certainly not obligated to turn it into a business. If your purpose is just to be kind and accepting of people, you can do that working at a gas station. You don't have to make it a business if you don't want to, whatever that purpose is. Very often there will be multiple paths. So I've already kind of talked about that. Multiple paths leading to your purpose. So as there is multiple paths leading to your purpose, you might eventually learn all of them. You might eventually take all of them, but they're all going to go to the same place. And that is awesome. How we do it doesn't matter. How we are in the world, that's what matters. And, leading into that, yeah, your purpose is something that you live, not necessarily something that you do. Kindness is a purpose. Love is a purpose. Fairness, justness, those are all purposes. How you get there doesn't really matter. Let's see. And I just want to get back to, again, every purpose is important. Every purpose. Doesn't have to be spiritual, doesn't have to be health related. Every purpose is important. And as I've been talking, I have been having the sensation. I'm going to go back to trance channeling here because I'm about to do that. I've been having the sensation of, on top of my head, it gets really tingly. I get kind of lightheaded. I feel almost like I want to go to sleep when there's a channel coming through. And there is a channel coming through. There is someone here. They will introduce themselves when they come in. I am going to take a moment to kind of vacate my space and let them come in and talk to you. So if you will just give me just a moment, I am going to, I can't channel with my glasses on. They're too heavy on my face. So if you'll give me just a moment, there is someone coming in here right now. For those who have never seen a trance channel, my face may change. My voice might change. My cadence, my rhythm, even my accent might change. I don't know for sure. Got a air in my face, sorry. Greetings. I am Alexi from Andromeda. I am what you would call an extraterrestrial, and I am here as spokesperson for the Galactic Federation. We have been with you for a very long time, watching, caring, only interfering or intervening when it is absolutely necessary for the safety of all of you. We work with several other species, communities, however, whatever word you want to put onto it. We work with the Arcturians, the Syrians, the Pleiadians, and more. We are here to share with you some very important information. As your world seems to be becoming more tumultuous, we want to remind you that much of what you are seeing is distraction. It is distracting you to keep you in lower vibration energies, to keep you hooked into listening to outside authorities. The true authority is within you. The true authority for each of you is within you. And as you connect to that divine authority within you, you connect in a very real, energetic, spiritual way to all of the beings who are connected into their own spiritual authority. We encourage you to listen to that. It may sound like an outside voice when you are meditating. It may sound like a voice in your head. It may sound like your imagination, but listen to the truth of it. Feel into the truth of it, and you will know. You will know immediately if you are connected to your own divine source, the divine source within you that is connected to the divine source of all that is. We are all of us, regardless of where we come from, regardless of where we live or what species we are. We all are connected to divine source. This divine source does not require a description, an identity. It does not require anything from any of us, only that we require connection to each other, to understand that no one is truly alone. Even when you feel alone, know that there is a divine source within you that connects you to the love of all that is, that connects you to each other, to us, to all living sentient beings in existence. We would like to also point out, as many of you have already noticed, you are not the only species that is ascending in frequency. You may have noticed the other species on your planet are behaving in more sentient ways, are communicating with you more clearly than ever before. You may have noticed that some of these species are acting in ways that humans do not or have been afraid to, as far as protecting each other. Even species that have been known to be predator and prey are now behaving in ways that they are protecting one another, primarily from humans who are not ascending. The difference, please excuse the excess energy that this body is having to absorb to do this channeling for you. The other species on your planet are automatically adjusting to the higher frequencies. Humans have a choice, and some are choosing to remain in the frequency in which they are comfortable. This is not a judgment. It is simply the way it is. Everyone grows at their own pace. Some are still working out trauma, tragedy, old belief systems in their own time. Send them love and continue on your ascension path. Let them judge. Let them be who they are. You are not obligated to stay in that world, to stay in that consciousness. You may rise above energetically and still be a positive influence for others who are ascending and for those who are choosing to stay in their current vibration. Some of you are aware of the Schumann resonance, the heartbeat of Gaia, of Mother Earth. If you are following the Schumann resonance posts on social media, or if you are energy sensitive, you will be aware that the frequency of Earth is also raising It's rising higher than it has before. It is spiking to many, many times its normal frequency. You may have noticed this in the way that you feel, in the way other people are behaving, in the way you are behaving and watching yourself behave in unfamiliar ways and wondering why. It is because everything is energy. And as the earth raises its energy, particularly in spikes, your body responds, your mind responds, your spirit responds, because it is all energy. We want to encourage you to be patient with yourself, with those around you, and to not get distracted by what's put on the world stage to grab your attention. Understand that not everyone can do this. There are people who will get caught up, and maybe you will too, get caught up even for a short time in the distractions. We encourage you, as you are in touch with that divine within you, if you want to make a difference on your planet, follow your heart, not the latest attention-grabbing headline. If you want to protect people, first, before you even show up physically, send your intention. You can call it prayer, you can call it spell casting, you can call it whatever you like, but send your intention for peace and protection for those who need it. Ask the higher realms, the angels, the guardians, to come and help protect those who are being injured, who are being hurt in some way by the lower frequency energies that are still existing. Earth is essentially two different planets energetically at this point, where you have the higher dimension and then you still have the third dimension, where all of you have been raised since birth. And some of you, even in childhood, knew that it was not what you wanted, that maybe that it was an illusion that you needed to rise above and escape. The energetic world has the power with you, with your intentions, to help those who are being hurt by third dimension, energies. So call on us. Call on the Andromedans, the Syrians, the Arcturians, and the Pleiadians, and more. Call on your angels. Call on your protectors, your energetic protectors. Ask them to intervene, to help protect those who are being injured. The energetic world is every bit as real as your physical world, and it is far more enduring. We would like to thank you for your time and attention to our message today. Please be true to yourselves. Honor one another as you honor yourself, and be kind. We are always here. You only need to ask. I am Alexi of Andromeda, and this is my message for the people of Earth. Thank you. Well, that was interesting. I would like to thank you all for tuning in. I know the show is a little bit shorter than usual, but that's okay. I appreciate your time, your attention, and your energy. And I will see you next time with, I'm not sure who's coming on. I think it's Glenn Bottis will be joining us next time on ParaMystic Podcast. Have a great week, everyone.